Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time it may be when you're actually watching this right now. I hope that you're doing great, and I thank you for joining me either now or later in the future during while you're enjoying the replay. So, anyways, I'm here. It's Wednesday, and it's going pretty good, y'all. I hope everybody is doing well also and living their best lives and working their way through this crazy journey as much as in the most enlightened, powerful, and positive way possible. All right? All right. So, if you are wondering why you are seeing me, what's going on, who is this person all up in your face right now? My name is Yolanda. I am locating cozy, and this is a broad chat. So thank you guys for joining. Um, just patiently gonna talk about a few things and share some experiences. And I hope that what you hear from me and maybe some of the questions that might be posed or asked during this live stream, that you will gain some wonderful insight and it will be able to help you in some kind of way. Okay. Okay. So let's see what's going on. You know what? I got this chair. This chair came with the apartment, the flat that I'm in here in Zaragoza, Spain. And I had another chair that started squeaking really loud and just sounding awful. And yeah, it ended up breaking. Thank goodness I wasn't sitting. I just barely sat my butt in it after I put some WD-40 on there from squeaking. And I went to go sit in it and it just fell apart. So actually, when I put, I guess, the oil lubricant on there, it it caused the whole thing, like the deterioration that was happening inside of it. It just fell apart. Again, thank goodness I wasn't sitting on it comfortably. I think I had just barely tried to sit, and I was like, something's not right. Anyways, I threw the chair out. It's gone. It's been gone for a couple of months. And this was another chair that came with the apartment, but now it's squeaking too. So the furniture is not new here. It's nice, it's comfortable, it serves its purpose, but it's not new. So I think I'm going to be investing in the next couple of months on a new chair, a new desk chair. Okay. So thank you guys, anyways, for joining. Hello. Hold on just a second. Let me just so as I do this more and more, I try to stay as organized as possible. And because you guys know me, I go squirrel. I will jump all over topics and never get to a point of a story, and y'all just have to roll with the flow. But I do write down. I try to do an outline now to actually stay on focus. So um, first of all, yeah, one of the things I like to do is make sure that you say hello. Let me know that you're here. I do appreciate it. Yes, hello, Jesse. How you doing? Thank you for joining. You are dedicated, girl. I appreciate you. You are awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I have to give a little bit of credit, like what's going on in my world right now. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. No, we're going to stay organized. That's my goal. I'm going to stay organized. I'm going to stay on point. Right. Right. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so first and foremost, please do make sure that if you like what you're seeing and you like hanging out with me sometimes and just having some good girlfriend chat, make sure that you do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will know whenever I want to share some wonderful insights and wisdom with you or I want your feedback on something. So please do make sure that you hit that thumbs up notification bell and yeah, like and subscribe. So, anyways, yeah, thank you very much. Please and thank you. I got to give a little bit of some kudos going on, what's going on in my world. I said I was going to cut this part out and stop asking, like saying what's going on in my world, but I can't help myself. So, I want to give some kudos to my developing background here, my developing stage back here in the background. So, first of all, I realized because I do, post a lot of videos that I was like, you need better lighting. And I got some, nice little tiered lighting from IKEA when I first got this apartment, got this flat that and it worked, it serves its purpose. And I'm very thankful for it. But also I was like, sometimes I'll like go back and look at like something that I post. I'm like, man, this lighting sucks. So I started doing some research. Um, and I was like considering buying some professional lighting, and I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be a grip." But I'm not gonna get the best of the best, lighting. I'm not about to spend no, five, six, $700. That's just not happening. But then I'm not going to like invest in some better lighting and spend like $50 or maybe even $100. I want to get something that was like a good, that gave me what I needed, but not spending a fortune. So I was doing my Amazon research, and yeah, I do convenience. Anyways, I was doing some research on lighting, and before I really sat down, and thank goodness I'm such a procrastinator, and thank goodness that I sometimes can't make an easy decision. I can't make decisions easily. I have to think about it and ponder on it for a while, right? So I thank God that I am one that does not make immediate decisions, because as I was about to go down the rabbit hole and go ahead and invest, I said, let's think about this. Let me do some other research. And I remember my daughter back during, all the lockdown, that she had gotten some things for some cooking classes that she was doing online during lockdown. And I remember her getting some lighting, and I know that at some point she was like, I'm just going to sell it because life, took different turns. And, so she has a different, very successful business now. But I thought that she had sold the lighting. And so I just happened to send her a message as I was getting ready to invest in lighting. I said, hey, did you get rid of your lighting that you had for when you were going to be doing online cooking class? And she's like, no, I still have it. And I was like, oh, can I borrow it? Can you store it here for a while? I didn't say I wanted to buy it. Okay. I just said, can you store it at my place for a while? And she said, yeah, sure, yeah. So my son-in-law brought over the lighting, and I am glowing. This okay, so I was just asking for like, I didn't even know what it was. And when I got it, it was very intimidating because it was still in like some boxes. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna put this together. With that, yeah, I put it together. And I didn't know that when they brought it over, when my son-in-law brought it over, that they brought over both lights. So it's actually two of these. Yeah, it's actually two of these. So I just have this one just for some nice background, and I'll use it. Maybe I'll have two stages, two background settings here in my flat. But yeah, it's the lighting is giving. I mean, I just feel like I needed to put some jojoba oil on me just to make it glisten just a little bit more, so I can just be showcasing just a little bit more. But with that, yeah, I have lighting, and it's really great. So I'm slowly, like, I got some. Well, I'm getting more plants, but I'm getting some plants. And back here, this lady. Okay, I'm pointing the wrong way. This lady right here. This, and there's another lady that I got. Um, I had been Again, I'm a procrastinator. I don't make my decisions easily. Some things I just jump full fledged, and I'm like, here, take all my money. And then some things I have to like do my research and ponder on some things. And so here, I guess in the States, you have Home Depot, you have Lowe's. Here you have I'm not going to try to say it because it's from France, but it's Leroy Merlin. The US style, Texas style. Leroy Merlin. It's Leroy Merlin. But anyways, that's the version of the Home Depot here. So I have been going to, and it's at the mall, at the Port of Venecia Mall. And I've gone a couple of times, and I've seen these two pieces, and it's wood. So the whole thing, the silhouette, the hairpiece, yeah, the hairpiece, everything, it's wood. um, Whatever. I don't care if it's faux wood, it's wood. But it's not painted. And I just found them to be so beautiful that I had been looking at them, and then I was like, oh, you can find them online for cheaper. And I've gone through all this 2.5, 3 months later. I got it this morning. I got on the bus, And because this particular store, even though the mall opens at 10, 10:30. Leroy Merlin opens at 7:30. So I got on the bus early because I didn't want to be on a crowded bus. So I got up early. I got on the bus. I went there. I got the two pieces of art, and so I hung this one up. And I'm gonna do some other little things, and then I hung the other one, the bigger piece, up. And yeah, it's just beautiful. And I was just sharing with my daughter and some other family that to look at that, I don't know. It took me forever to decide to actually go ahead and get them. And what happened was I was going to actually order them online, but when I was looking at them, when I found the correct scan barcode and I was looking at them last night online, I said, something doesn't look right. This doesn't look like what's in the store. And I'm so glad that I did not buy them online because I would have been pissed. Because the ones that are online is a print. It's not wood, it's just a canvas print. So this one is textured because it's wood, and so is the other one that I got. But yeah, I am just so thankful that I did not just buy it online, and I just kind of told myself something's not right. Go to the store, get your butt, go take the bus 30 minutes. You know, it's in Zaragoza, so it was fine. And yeah, it was worth it. It just brought me a certain amount of peace and just the beauty of it. And I just want to like kind of um, set up a little stage or a little area, a calming area that kind of focuses on the beauty of this art piece, and then the other one. Anyways, I just had to share that because it really was a feel good. And I guess when I actually, you know what? Let's keep it real, because when I think about locating my cozy, how are you locating your cozy? What are you doing that's all about you, that's giving you joy, that's giving you purpose? Be selfish, do something for you. Please do share in the comments, or during the replay. But the reason I say that, how are you locating your cozy? Because these these little pieces, again, they weren't expensive. I mean, they weren't cheap, but they weren't expensive. But to see this hanging up after all of my deliberations in my brain, going back and forth, to have it up in my apartment now, I don't know. It gives me joy. This is locating my cozy. This right here. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I I I'm glad that I just, kind of pulled the lever and just said, "Girl, get it and stop putting it off." And I'm thankful. So this is part of my new stage, my ever evolving stage background. Anyway, so but please do share. How are you locating your cozy? Mine's is artwork. Okay. And I have some other things I'm working on. So yes, I finished the guest room, and now it's time to do some other areas. So yes. So let's see. We have a nice subject, I think, that is going to actually kind of tie into last week's live, just a little bit. But I think it's something that I think a lot of you can understand, and hopefully you can really truly appreciate this topic. So before, what else do I need to go ahead and bring up? No baby yet. We're still waiting. The due date's coming up. The due dates, I'll just say, is coming up. Um, my anticipated date that the baby would arrive didn't happen. We're long past that now. But yes, we're on baby number two watch. So yes, um, I'm excited, anticipating, patient. And it's funny because as the community here is growing here in Zaragoza and finding, things to do and meeting so many wonderful Black women here, that we're starting to really build a nice, I feel the community growing. Um, as I've stated, I belong to Internations. We went for a nice Sunday walk. That was a mixed group of people from all over that have lived here for 30 years, and some that just moved here. So it's a wonderful eclectic group. But to also have a group of Black women within the Black and Zaragoza community, you can find this on Facebook. And actually, the link is in the description. That community is growing, and it's just beautiful. So, anyways, I bring that up because as we're waiting for baby number two to come, um, yeah, my grandbaby. Just in case anybody's wondering, most of you guys know it ain't me, okay? But my grandbaby number two is on the way. So, but I had a couple of people reach out, different people that I've gotten to know now, who invited me out for Friday to go, for us to meet up for some drinks, and then I'm going to check out some of the open markets, or like the flea markets, the art and crafts markets here, and somebody invited me to come on a Sunday. I'm saying yes to everything pretty much, but I'm like contingent to the fact if my daughter says it's time, everything stops, and I'm going to be um, going there to be with her and to take care of a lollipop while they go and bring baby number two into the world. Anyways, so with that, let's go ahead and see what some people are saying. Hey, hey, Christine. Hey, Beijing Alpha 4. Hey, girl. Yeah, I feel bad. I've already said my apologies, but I'm going to say it live right now. So, Christine and I go walking in the morning sometime. And usually, I mean, yeah, we have like, for the most part, it's like 3 days a week, sometimes just 2 days a week. But I woke up and I started doing something, and then I laid back down and dozed off for a second. And yeah, the next thing you know, I was getting a message from Beijing Alpha saying, I'm just going to be a few minutes late, but I'm on my way. And I was like, I'm so sorry, because I literally had not even gotten out the bed yet. So apologies, girl. We'll talk tomorrow. I mean, I'll talk to you afterwards, because yeah, I want to get an extra walk while I can. So, anyways, hey, girl. Yes, she's one of my. Uh, she's Christine. Beijing Alpha is family now. She's family here in Zaragoza. So, yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's see. And oh, thank you very much. She says, I like the arts and plants. Yes, yes. It's evolving. It's evolving. So I'm gonna have when I was in IKEA yesterday, because I got some other stuff that's for outside of this area. And they had some like fluorescent lights, like Rashida Dow has like some kind of like lightning thing, fluorescent light in her background. And I saw something. It was like one was a heart and one was like a cloud. And I started to get it, and I was like, "Girl, that's too much. Do your own thing. That's too much." But I really was tempted. I might still get it and just put it in the guest bedroom for lollipop, because it was just really cool, little light fluorescent stuff. But I almost got it. Yeah. Some decisions I don't delay. I just be like, I want it now, but I didn't do that. So anyways, hello, Aileen. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I love it. Aileen says we're all on baby countdown. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me keep my cool. Congratulations, Aileen. I know. Okay. Okay. Congratulations. And you can put in the comment and stuff. I'm just saying congratulations and stuff, because yeah, we're right here. Okay. Anyways, all the women began. Oh, is that what that is? All the women in the family began cleaning when a baby was coming. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. Yes, because yes, the house is ready. I did talk to my daughter earlier and stuff, but just to be clear and stuff, my son-in-law is the one that loves to clean. Yeah. Okay. So he's not in my house cleaning, but yeah, my son-in-law is the one that is like super duper, like organized, clean person. And so yeah, much love to him. Yeah, those roles are not defined at all. Yeah, so maybe he's having that cleaning bug where he's just like, I have to clean up everything. I don't know, but yeah, he's the one that's very, yeah. Yeah. There's always one person that's like more extremely diligent, and that would be my son-in-law. Yeah, he likes everything nice and organized. Okay. So let's talk about today's topic, um, dealing with anxiety abroad. Um, I wanted to bring this up because, and I don't even know if whoever sees this now or in the future, I don't know. Actually, Aileen, I reached out to you afterwards. And I was like, oh my gosh. So last week, what happened was I did a live, and I had not done a live in a couple of weeks. Actually, I was doing I guess, a repost or redo of a live that I attempted to do 2 weeks prior to that. where I was talking about the summers in Zaragoza and things that you need to do to take care of yourself. And, as far as staying hydrated and, all the resources and how to take the bus and getting the fans and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, go back in there. I'll try to put the link for that at the end of this video, or check it out in the description so that you can go back and watch that. But with that said, I was redoing a live just for different circumstances. I was going to record it after I was having some technical difficulties the first time that I tried to do the live. Anyways, I got through the topic because I had my outline, and I got through the topic. I thought pretty fast because when I did the originally when I recorded or I did the live, I thought I was doing the live on YouTube, and I was on for an hour and 16 minutes, only to realize that afterwards only 9 minutes had recorded on the live. So I was just like, holy crap. So that's why it took me a while to actually come back and try to do it again. Anyways, when I was got through my outline of the things to talk about regarding the summers in Zaragoza and how to take care of yourself and best practices. It was like, I think, 53 minutes, and I was like, wow. But I was feeling off. I was feeling off the whole time, but you kind of push through. And then I realized that, because one, for those that know me, you probably couldn't tell that much because I am a rambler. I will, again, go squirrel, be like shiny red penny. But I knew I was feeling off. And I was like, okay, well, this isn't getting better. This is really starting to feel a certain way. And I was like, oh my God, you're getting ready to have a full blown anxiety attack right now. I'm not new to anxiety attacks. They have happened. I'm going to be giving you some weird scenario situations that I've been in with anxiety attacks. But the fear somewhere in my mind was, girl, please don't ever have an anxiety attack while you're sitting up here live in front of, like, however many people that might be watching this now or in the future. Please don't have an anxiety attack. That would be horrible. Well, that's what happened. And I was like, and I think at some point I literally said, I'm feeling off. And I was like, had just kind of put it up to, oh, it's just because I've taken some time off from going live that I'm just out of sorts, which is actually a real thing. If you haven't, I guess, flexed that muscle of going live and being witty, and all that stuff, then yeah, you kind of feel off. So that part was true, but I felt like there was something else. And yeah, I realized I was about to have a whole anxiety attack. So my anxiety attacks, panic attacks, whatever you want to call them, can go to different levels. It can be like, oh, I feel this coming on. Let me be proactive, and maybe take the medication that's been prescribed so that I can offset it, to, oh my God, I can't even see straight. I need to, like, stumble over to wherever my medication is and try to have it, to another situation, which I'll share later on, whereas I didn't realize, I forgot because I was feeling so confident about not having so many anxiety attacks, that I had ran out of my medication. This is a while ago, and had a full blown anxiety attack at work and had to be rushed by ambulance to the hospital. So my levels of anxiety attacks hit differently, and I'm always just surprised. I'm just like, "Hey, how's it gonna roll this time?" So with that, I had a I felt it coming on. I was all over the place. Not my usual all over the place conversation. I felt like, "Oh my God, let me get off this right now and stop all attempts of being, witty and, witty banter and all that." I was like, "Girl, get off of here now. You're live and you sound like an idiot." Now, y'all may not have known any difference if you were watching, if you saw it, or if or watched it later on. You may not have noticed. You may have just thought, well, that's Yolanda. That's just how she talks, and she never stays on point. No, it was different. So, anyways, thank goodness I got off, and then I reached out to Aileen, and I reached out to two other people, and I was like, oh my God, I just had a whole anxiety attack while I was live. That was horrible. Nobody may have known, but for me, it was just detrimental. It was horrible. So I did a little video that I was just going to post about it, and I was like, you know what? As I was getting ready to see what I was going to talk about this week, I was like, I know I'm not alone. Um, I know that all the stereotypes about the type of people or who gets anxiety or the reason that people get anxiety attacks does not necessarily fit the mold of what reality is. So you might have some idea of why they happen and who it happens to, but in reality, those that have suffered from anxiety at whatever levels, they know how impactful and how impactful it is and how detrimental it feels to have an anxiety attack and have no control, and you're trying to get control of something that you have no control over. So that's why I wanted to take this time to really speak about it, and just kind of give my 2 cents, give my feedback, share my experiences, and I encourage you, if you're, again, looking at this now during the live, to post your experiences, share your experiences if you're comfortable. If you have questions, put a Q in front of it so that I don't know if I'm not a professional. Let me just say this right now. I'm not a professional. I am somebody that has experienced it and wants to let you know that you're not alone if you have not experienced it yet. Maybe you had it and didn't even know what it was. You were like, what is this? I just want to talk about what I know, my thoughts on it, and see if there's anybody else that wants to share their experiences, or just in the end will feel more empowered to know and recognize it if it happens to you in the future. Or maybe it's happened to you in the past and you were like, oh, that's what that was. Yeah. So yeah. So let's see. Um, let's see here. I have little tags. I've tried to do little banners, so we're gonna see how this goes. But I may keep up with the banners, I may not. Okay. So first of all, anxiety attacks happen at the worst time. I mean, there's no planning. There is not like I'm going to have an anxiety attack today. Let me plan for this because I already see that happening. Now, there are sometimes that some people that have them so bad that they do have to take daily medication to mitigate the onset of a panic attack or an anxiety attack. But for the most part, yeah, it's anxiety. You don't know when they're going to come on, and yeah, they will hit you like just hit you like you just hit a brick wall and you don't even know what to do. Sometimes they hit you so hard that you don't have time to react in a way that says, I feel this coming on, let me solve this out, let me take my medication, let me breathe in a certain way or do a yoga pose or whatever it is that you do to offset a possible anxiety attack. I wanted to share I shared what happened last week. The thing is, in the past 2 weeks, I've had 3 anxiety attacks. The one that came on last week was I could feel it coming up, so I was able to I was able to stop the live and go address it before it got really bad. But the thing is this, I had not suffered any serious anxiety attacks in, I think, like, nothing serious since I left my horrible job back in 2022. Okay. I still had some anxiety attacks, but nothing like what I used to have before I left my job, my full-time job stuff. Okay. So I I was feeling confident. I was like, girl, now I keep my medications with me, but I only have to take them when I feel the onset. I don't have to take daily medications. But when I feel it coming on, I take it. So I've had the same prescription now for a while. And mine, I take lorazepam. And it's like I think it's 1 milligram. And actually, when I started taking it, it was like a 1 milligram. And they just said, just break it in half and take a half one that dissolves under your tongue. So I was feeling super duper confident about, hey, I have this under control. So, but I always still keep my medication. I always know where it is. But I had gotten comfortable enough to the point where I didn't leave the house. Like if I was going out for the evening or going out for the day, I didn't keep it in my purse like I used to when I was back in the States. So feeling confident. And then about 2 weeks ago, I was just sitting here doing some work, working on, so I think I was editing some videos, trying to, continue on with learning how to create wonderful social media clips. And all of a sudden, I felt a blur, and I felt like just this intense anxiety, the heart palpitations, just can't see straight. And like I'm trying to go through and see what like some of the other things that can happen. Um, yeah, the shortness of breath, like you just can't catch your breath. And I immediately jumped up and went to where I keep my medication, and I like took one. And so I took 1 milligram, and I was still, because usually it subsides pretty quick. When I have to go to the hospital, the times that I've had to go to the hospital, I literally they had to give me a shot of Ativan, which lorazepam is just like a generic Ativan, and I just have it in smaller. It's in milligrams. It's not like in a 5 or 10 milligram. It's just like 1 milligram. Anyways, it was so bad that time that I had to grab my medication. I also took my blood pressure medication, which that can be a factor also, because I can actually feel when my blood pressure goes up. And so I grabbed the medication, and then I opened my front door. Now I live on the 7th floor, but I opened my front door. So if I passed out, somebody's gonna find me. But the fact that I know that my anxiety, those attacks can hit in a certain way, that I know that I need to have the door open. So if somebody needs to find me, here I am. Um, so once the medication, I ended up taking an extra milligram. And then once the medication started kicking in a little bit, I went to sit back down at my desk, and I was like, oh no, this isn't going away. So eventually I just had to go downstairs, and I went outside. And I still had my medications with me in case I needed to one up the lorazepam, because again, I was just doing it in 1 milligram doses at this point. Anyways, I went outside, and I had to stand outside, and I was outside for about 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Just, like, okay, off topic really fast. Important, important, important. Wherever you are in the world, know what the emergency number is, whether it's 112 999, whatever it is. Know that, something that needs to be on your checklist of knowing what the emergency, because it's not 911. That's only for the US, as far as I know. So this, yeah, pause and remember this. Know what your emergency 3-digit number is, that if you need to call somebody for help, okay? So just know that. I knew it, and yet at the time I couldn't remember it. So, I mean, thank goodness, I was outside. I was fine. Thank goodness. I was fine. Once I was out there for a while and everything, medicine kicked in, I was fine. But it was scary, scary, scary at the time. And because of that, and it caught me so off guard, because again, I hadn't had an intense anxiety attack like that. It's been a couple of years. I mean, I still have them come on sometimes, but I can feel them leveling up. So I can, like, again, be proactive and stop it from going to the next level. And sometimes I don't even have to take medication. Sometimes I can just woo-saw it out, because I'm recognizing what's happening, and I'm like, what are you doing? Something's going on. I'm not saying, so again, I'm not your doctor. So I want to make sure that you understand. Please hold up, hold up, hold up. I wanna change my little thing here, because I wanna make sure that you understand. Uh, okay. Please, please, please get medically cleared first. Okay. So I'm giving you my experiences, and other people can share their experiences regarding having a full blown anxiety attack. But it is important that you first go to a doctor to make sure. So if you are having these symptoms for the very first time, or maybe you've had them recently, and please don't chalk it up and be like, oh, Yolanda said, Locating Cozy said it was just an anxiety attack. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay. I need you to go and get yourself checked out first, because we want to make sure, through, I guess, what you want to call the process of elimination, that is not something else. So I am speaking because I recently got, blood work done the other day. I have gotten everything checked out. So I can still maintain and understand that this is an anxiety attack. But if it gets bad, still, there's been 2 times where I still had to go to the hospital, even though it was an anxiety attack, because my body was not receiving the oxygen that it needed so my body seized up. This was back when I was in the States, and this was before the horrible, horrible job. This was at my job that I actually loved to a point. Um, that I actually had a situation where they knew that I had the anxiety attacks. One of my work family friends kept like an extra stash of medication for me just in case, and she kept it in her drawer for just in case. And I didn't re up with her either. And yeah, my body seized up when it happened. My body seized up. They called the ambulance. Like I literally like clawed up like this. It was horrible. I mean, yeah, I thought I was dying. It was that bad. So, and they had to like kind of put me on oxygen, get me to the hospital. And eventually they gave me some Ativan, and that it relaxed my body and I was fine. But that's how intense an anxiety attack can be. But even with that, it's important that you need to know if it's a heart attack, because or you need to know if there's a possibility that it might be something else. That's what I mean. Because the symptoms can look the same. And that's why it's so scary when people do have an anxiety attack, because they're thinking they're having a heart attack, or they're thinking they're having a stroke, because the symptoms can feel like something that you can't that's very debilitating. So that's why it's very important that you do um, know this, because the signs can include signs can be sudden irritability. You can become irritable, tightness of chest, shortness of breath, um, obsessive thoughts over prepping. That's me, anyways. Obsessive thoughts. This brain is going constantly in what if scenarios sometimes. So that overwhelming feeling that you have to get it right, that can be so many other symptoms. That can be so many, there can be a root cause of that for so many other reasons. But knowing the difference, oops, knowing the difference and knowing your body can help immensely. For some people, um, something that can lead up to an anxiety attack that just goes awry is trouble sleeping, staying wired. You're just wired. You're extremely tired, or you're extremely wired. So again, knowing your body and understanding and knowing if there might be some other underlying issues is important to know, to understand. So if you're not sure that it's an anxiety attack, go to the doctor. Go to your doctor, and don't just wait and see, like, well, let's just wait and see, because we don't want you to wait and see, because sometimes wait and see can make it too late to see anymore. Okay. It's important that you do accept help. So I'm going to say this, and if it's not you, then don't worry about it. But I'm going to say this because we as Black people were our mothers and aunties and grandmas and all that stuff, help, psychological help. What do you need to get to help for anxiety? Why do you need medication for anxiety? That's stupid. That don't make no sense. Okay, please accept the help. Accept the help. You should not have to suffer through an anxiety attack or the unknown of experiencing, because you don't know what's happening at the time. You should not have to suffer through that by yourself without any assistance, whether it's talking to somebody, calling a doctor, or having a medication that's prescribed to you that works, whether you need to take it every day or whether you only take it as needed. You need to accept the help that is offered and available. Seek it out, please. Please and thank you. Okay. So that's why I said, there's signs of the anxiety episodes, but also take care of yourself first. Make sure that I don't want you to confuse these symptoms that could be something else. So let's do the process of elimination first. Okay. And then from there, your doctor can actually prescribe to you medications that work. There are some people that are on higher doses of anxiety medication. I'm on a relatively low dose that I take as needed. But when I needed to up that dose, when I had that initial anxiety attack, a couple of weeks ago, that hit hard, and I'm so thankful that I had my medication, and I think I ended up taking like 4 milligrams of the lorazepam and stuff, and then after that, I was kind of like, "Mm, okay," but yeah, let's go in here to some of the comments to see what some people are saying. I feel like I'm gonna say this now. There were some other mitigating circumstances which I will bring up in a little bit, and I'll talk about in a little bit. But I feel so much more focused than I was last week. Again, it could have, there was other mitigating circumstances. One was, again, I had not been live confidently, I guess, in probably like a month and a half. But I feel super focused right now. Yes. Okay. Yes, I want to let's piggyback on that. Yes, Black American women are taught not to ask for help. I tell my daughter, you need help, ask, ask. Please don't be like, well, they should have known. They saw the stress in my face. No, girl, we got our own problems. We have our own problems. We are not mind readers. Okay, I don't care. Nah, okay, we're not mind readers. So we need for you to open your mouth, to ask for it. You deserve to say what you need. Okay. Please remember that. You deserve to say what you need to live the best life possible, which includes managing anxiety. Okay. Hello, Marissa. How you doing? Thank you. And Marissa says, yes, thank you for speaking on this. I want to be as much of a proponent to cheer women on to seek the help that they need. It's old, saying like, don't talk about it. I have family members or friends to this day that I've talked to, and they're like, when things come out about, abuses and things happening that are like to the detriment of women or to Black women, they're like, why y'all gotta talk about all that? Why? Mhm. Talk about it, because we need healing. We need healing, and sometimes that healing needs to be to speak it out loud, to say, I need this. So, yes. And there's a whole movement going on right now. There's a whole movement, Heal with Marissa Price. Yes, there's a whole movement going on right now that's getting stronger and stronger to let you know that even in this horrible, no good time that we're experiencing right now, that we still can heal, and we deserve to figure out what is the best course of remedy and healing that's going to help us physically and emotionally, mentally. Okay, all things combined. Okay, hear me on that. Okay, so mm, mm. Okay, I just have to say this: women suffer in silence, and they don't need to. You don't need to. You don't have to. Um, big up yourself. Winsome Alexander. Yes, she's not here right now. But, she talks about the healing journey for childhood trauma. And I admire her so much for that, that she really has created this space for women to have, like, to, there's different ways of finding a way to heal and to grow. And so, yes, there's so many Black women out here right now that are doing their part to uplift and let you know that you're not alone. Hi. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do my part as best as I can. I'm not a therapist, but I will do as much as I can, as best as I can, to help uplift and hopefully um bring you forward and bring you up to start healing, to alleviate those anxiety attacks. Okay, so the next one I wanted to talk about, that can actually hold you down and can bring on more anxiety than you really want to deal with, is the internal spiral, doubting your big decisions. So I had this anxiety attack. I'm over here in Spain. I'm living my best life. Everybody's like, oh, girl, are you living your best life? Yes, I am happy. I'm thankful. So that's why the anxiety attack caught me off guard. Okay. But I wanted to take it further because we need to, I feel like it's important that we go into and talk about how sometimes self-doubt can make you just suppress those feelings, whatever your feelings are, making you feel unsure, and that can bring on anxiety. That that can bring on the anxiety because you're just suppressing something that maybe your heart and your mind is like, girl, this can bring you joy. But there's always that self-doubt. Even when something feels right, like you can still feel unsure. You know that this is what you need to be doing, but sometimes you can still feel like, "Mm, that's not how I was raised. I wasn't raised to want more. So therefore, I'm just gonna keep it to myself and keep all my ambitions and my and the anticipation of this new experience to myself. And then I'm just going to second guess it. So I'll just bury that need deep inside and just take care of other people's wants and needs. And before you know it, you're having an anxiety attack. Even when you are actually moving into maybe you're doing the cleaning out, you're decluttering your home, you're getting rid of things, you're on your beginning journey to whatever it is, whether you're moving out of the country, whether you're moving across the country, you're selling your house, or maybe you just want to bop around for a while. Whatever it is, the things that the mental tug of war that can happen of, what if I fail? um, am I too old for this? Will I be okay financially, emotionally? These are valid feelings, but to suppress them and to not sometimes not even have the resource or the person or somebody that you can talk to and bounce ideas off of and really kind of work through it yourself, and you're just like, oh, I can handle it, I don't want to talk to anybody about it, I have to handle this by myself. Again, all of a sudden when you're having like these feelings of anxiety because you don't have a release, you don't have you're not either, you don't know your resources, or um, you're not utilizing your resources, or you're denying yourself to use the resources. And there's a difference between not using them and just absolutely denying yourself. Like, no, girl, you don't deserve these resources. Somebody else should use those resources. You don't deserve them. You're stressing yourself out. You're bringing more anxiety on yourself because you're trying to keep it all bottled up and not accept the help and use the resources that might be readily available to you, or that you have not maybe even started seeking out yet. Okay. You have this, sometimes you even have the pressure to prove that you've made the right choice publicly. And I've done this. I've done this. You're not alone. You're like, even when things in the background are like kind of challenging and you're kind of like, "Ooh, girl, this is kind of scary." You're like, but in front of everybody, you're like, "Oh, ta-da, I'm living a fabulous girl. It's great." There is a certain amount of loneliness and a certain amount of concern and insecurity that's going to naturally happen. But if you are suppressing it and you're not acknowledging it and you're just trying to put your best face forward all the time, you're stressing yourself out. And I know we're not talking about like, oh, everybody like we're not talking about um I have to like, I can't think of the word right now. I just got off track. It's okay to show your vulnerability. Um Even with the people, and you don't have to talk to them, but even with the people who are like, girl, you shouldn't do that. Why would you do that? And everything stuff. It's like you may not show your vulnerability to them. But sometimes because you might have that negative space, for people talking and saying why, you have this need that you have to prove that you were right. And in the process of you proving that you were right, you are stressing yourself because again, you're suppressing. Does that make sense? I hope this helps. I truly hope this helps. It's helping me. This is why I come on here sometimes because I'm like, oh, that was a good therapy session. Just coming on here and just talking through some things with you guys. It's a great therapy session. So let's see here. Aileen, doubting your big decisions is a part of it. I'm constantly doing that, or the constant internal conversation. Still have, yes, I'm here in Spain. Girl, I still have that. I still have that. And it's okay. I acknowledge it. And there's times when I'm sitting up there and I'll be laying down, I'm like, you need to do this, and this is going on. Um, but the big scope of things is in the big realm of everything. I know that I am happier here than I am possibly where I was. Um, but there is still self-doubt. I still have that. Who the hell do you think you are doing all this? Yes. It's an internal thing that we still to put ourselves down. It's the self-doubt that's it, we've been taught to do what's necessary and not what we need. Um, and so therefore it's going to be a struggle for a long time, but you still keep moving forward. Walk through the fear. You got to go through it to get to it. Yes, make no mistake. Just that, yes, overthinking should be made a crime. Ooh, I would be arrested so many times. I'd be overthinking some things, and I'm like, girl, stop it. Just do it. Which is I know it seems counterintuitive for me to be saying this right now because when I think about it, I overthink. I really do overthink. But when I was actually in the process um, from the time that I gave up my apartment to pet sitting full time to deciding to move to Spain to getting my apartment and doing this YouTube channel, second guessing all the way. Make no mistake. But I'm still doing it. I'm still moving forward. But my therapy is to lessen my anxiety attacks, is to actually talk about it and sometimes be transparent. Am I transparent with everything? Hell no. No. Okay. But I love the ability to be transparent and share to let other people know, especially other Black women, know that you're not alone and that you too can make whatever it is. It's not, I understand that it's not everybody's mission to move out of the country. I get that. It's not everybody's goal to just, come to this, to just quit the job, whatever it is. But whatever it is, I want to cheer you on. And that's what we're here for, to cheer you on, to say it's possible walking through that fear, but just have an outlet so that you can not just keep it all bottled up inside. Yes, yes. Sharing is caring. Yes. I love all the gems out here. I love all these little gems. So what's next here? I have, let's see, 3, 4. I have it like color coded to make sure that I'm staying on point. I am so proud of myself. I think I'm doing pretty good. See, now I spoke it. Now I'm going to be like, and then one time back in 1975, when I was 6 years old, okay, we're not going to do that. Okay. So, family and friends disconnect, the fear of moving without support. Man, that can have you in a pigeonhole. That can have you like, well, my family said don't do it. So I think that they're right. If this many people are telling me don't do it, maybe I shouldn't. I am not by any means suggesting that you go out and that do something without you having some kind of support financially, that you have a plan, that you have a plan, okay? But I also understand that the family and friends that you have that truly love you can still have you walking in fear and have you stressed out and have you second guessing more than you would have initially. Um, at the point that you need to understand, sometimes you just telling them that it's painful for them not to support you or to doubt you like this. Sometimes you're just not going to get that support. What do you do in that case? you find community. Okay. You find positive community. There's a lot of communities that are out here that are either that are just full of negativity. It's like I can get that at home. I can get that at home. There's a bunch of like expat groups that I have joined, and I'm like, oh no, y'all are just negative. It's like just people just complaining all the time. Why would you do that? I can get that from a family member or friend that had second thoughts or had their own feelings. So find the community that is working and cheering for you. um, it's very important. I've been blessed that I did have wonderful family community that really was cheering for me when I was making all these drastic decisions. That's not the case for everybody, but even with me having that support from my dear friends and families, I still found community outside of that group that I can freely talk about what my goals were and what I was working on and working through the different nuances and issues that might be coming up. So I would say whether or not you have family support, hopefully you do. Okay. But even whether you do or you don't, find the community that has already started or has already done some of the things that you're talking about doing. As you know, Exodus Summit for Black women that are trying to, get out of the toxic life that they might be in right now. There's different avenues. I so appreciate that support. I didn't know until I started doing the research, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a wonderful community of positive Black women, and there's been a whole sisterhood of just support, ongoing support, so much so that I've made sure that I have created a like environment in Texas um, for the Black women that were looking to make drastic changes in their lives. And I have built up a nice community, and it's growing here in Zaragoza, Spain. And also, I've joined different communities also. So I created Black in Zaragoza Facebook group. Link is in the description. But with that, finding community is very, very important so that you don't feel alone. And when you join those communities, you're looking for information. You also want to pour into that community. Okay. As far as offering help, offering assistance. So it's not just one sided. That's what the communities are. It's community of helping each other and not just grabbing and just taking all the information and be like, deuces, I'm out. No, it's a give and take. Okay, and that's what all the communities that I belong to, that seems to be the main point. Give and take, sharing information, get-togethers, having meetups and things like that to share and know that, and let you know that you are supported. Because sometimes the family can put that fear of moving in you, and then you don't know which way to go. And there's been a lot of women within the Black women communities that I belong to that are going all over the world, where they have been able to, the family was like, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? But they've been able to find the correct avenues. Y'all know I talk with my hands. I can't help myself. They've been able to find the communities that have helped them navigate. Okay. Having that option can lessen the anxiety that you might suffer from, okay, because you know you're not alone. And that's why I believe, like, since I left that crazy, horrible, no good job back in 2022, up until 3 weeks ago, I had very negligible signs of anxiety attacks because I had community. I had outlets, not just my immediate family and friends. I built communities and found communities that were like, you go, girl, you got this. Okay. So this is great. The bottom line is you can ask, if your family or your loved ones that are closest to you, will they ever understand me? What if I'm all alone in this? You may not have the close, maybe your close friends and families will not be your biggest cheerleaders as far as saying, go. It does not diminish the fact that they love you, but some things you just have to, I guess, go alone, but again, finding community that has done it before. But there are some things that you're just going to have to step out on. As long as you have plans and you're doing actions and you're putting things in place for yourself to achieve those goals, some things you're just going to have to let your family disagree with you on and go for it anyways. Okay. It doesn't mean that you love your family any less. It, please, I implore you to not let friends or family guilt you or don't let them guilt you or make you feel like you're stupid for doing it, for lack of better words. That's just the bottom line. Because sometimes you can have family or friends that are just like, girl, that's stupid. Why are you doing that? That don't make no sense. I wouldn't do that. Well, thank goodness. Okay. Yes. So, the sting of hearing, why would you do that? Or I could never. That's their own. I feel like that that doubt gets internalized. You can internalize their doubt. And again, it's something that just starts weighing heavy on you, on how you're feeling, because somewhere maybe deep in yourself, you know that you're supposed to be taking certain chances to find a better way of life. There's a better way for you, and if you're internalizing it and letting that keep you back, because you're like, oh, I don't have the support, so I can't do it. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Find the support groups that you need to help you start making the best decisions possible. And wherever it is that you are going, whatever it is that you are trying to build or trying to do that's going to bring you joy, there's community. I found a freaking sewing group here in Zaragoza. I'm signing up to learn how to sew. It starts in September. The classes are in Spanish. It's little communities, uh, sewing schools, whatever. But it's like, yeah, there's two different ones here in Zaragoza that caught my attention. I know these classes are in Spanish. I don't care. I'm still going to those sewing classes. I'm going to learn to sew. I'm going to learn to sew enough that I am speaking this into existence, and y'all see me here right now. I'm going to learn to sew from these Spanish-speaking women here in Zaragoza, Spain, so that by Christmas I'm getting myself a sewing machine so I can use it. Now, it could be before that, but right now, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't speak enough Spanish to really be feel. I don't speak enough Spanish to be like confident that I'm going to go to the go to this sewing class in Spanish and be okay. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I can't wait to start thrifting and going and getting pieces and creating my own custom designs for this 55-year-old body. Hey. Yes, I'm excited. Okay. Let's check the comments. This is a good live. I Yes, I feel good. I feel like all this information and experience. Thank you. Thank you, Bayesian Alpha. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at a couple of the notes here. Okay, wait a minute. I wonder if that's the old crab in the barrel effect. I'm confused. What? I didn't catch something. Bring me up to speed. I love that. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. It's not like you're going skydiving. Even if you want to go skydiving, that's your right. I'm not doing that. But yeah, um, that's your business. Um, never ask me. But yeah, it's you're doing something for you that brings you joy. I have some friends that have gone skydiving and they're like, you want to go with me? Hell no. No. Okay. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. When family don't support you. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. That makes more sense now. I wonder if the old crab in the barrel. Okay. Yes. That makes sense. Thank you. So what's next on the list here? I think we've already brought this up, but I'm gonna bring it up again because it's a point on here, and that is, where is it? Here we go. talking yourself off the ledge with love. So I bring this up because we forget to give ourselves grace. We talk down. Again, we've already said this. We can talk ourselves out of stuff. We can second guess and all that. But even when you are talking to yourself and you're just like, "Ooh, girl, I don't know. It's like this is scary." Yes, it's scary, but it's okay. So that's what I mean by talking yourself off the ledge. You're not talking yourself to acknowledge that it's scary is not condemning yourself. Okay. To acknowledge that it's scary is simply that acknowledging this is freaking scary. But it's not, you don't have to talk down to yourself. You need to make sure that you're talking through it with the love and kindness that you would show to somebody else, whether it's your kids, when you're cheering them on through something that's scary, whether it's a friend that you're like, girl, you got this. We will do that for everybody else and still just yell at ourselves and call ourselves stupid and all these things when it's us, when you're talking to yourselves. So talking yourself off the ledge with kindness. When you're having, tying this back in, when you're having an anxiety attack, and your body is seizing up or you're shaking and you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Um, Usually one of the first things that you're thinking as you're like, I don't know what's going on, you're like, oh, can anybody see this happening to me? Oh, this is embarrassing. I have had my anxiety attacks where I had them happen a few times at work. When I was working remote, well, back when I was back in the States and working remote, and I was just at home, especially during lockdown. Uh, it's just me and my dog and my cat. And I didn't want to go to the office managers on the next floor to let them know that I needed help. I said, girl, you're gonna look stupid. You look stupid doing. Just sit down and just wait it out. You're so worried about how you look, how you're perceived, that you are talking that, well, I'll say I was talking myself out of seeking help because I was concerned about how it would look to other people. I know that this is like maybe two different, this can be taken in a couple of different ways, but I remember I had to tell myself, it's like, girl, go get the freaking help. Go, yes, call 911, then go and sit in it's where the staff is with this apartment building. So they can help you if you need help. We can talk ourselves out of being wonderful, being the wonderful person that we are, or we can talk ourselves out of the help that we need because we talk so bad about what we don't deserve, about how it's going to be perceived that you're weak, that why would you ask for help? That just shows a sign of weakness. um I'm going to say this and hopefully it ties in and makes sense. We need to we want our black men, if you're dating black men, I'm just using this generically, we want our black men to be strong but also be vulnerable. We need to be vulnerable for ourselves. We need to be vulnerable for ourselves. We need to be okay with asking for help. We need to be okay with not talking bad to yourself. We need to stop talking bad to ourselves. Um, we want the men, and I'm just going to speak and just say it's like, as far as culturally, uh, the if we're dating black men, they're taught not to show emotions, to suck it up. We as a black community have been taught that, period. And so let's first put the mask on us and then lead by example. Know that you deserve to receive help. You deserve to see the light in yourself. You deserve to take your feelings. Your feelings are valid. your fears are real and you can survive the hard things. And hopefully we can find, hopefully in this life, you will find the mate, the person that has also gone through the journey and knows how to be vulnerable also. But holding it all in and not um and not acknowledging that you need self-love, that you need to talk to yourself with some kindness and with some love, again, it's stressing you out. This is what leads to first, we got anxiety attack. This is what leads to also heart attacks and strokes in the Black community because we're holding it all in. We are stressing ourselves out, holding it all in until we just stroke out and having high blood pressure and all these other things. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, there was one other thing I needed to go back and make sure that. Oh, where's it at? Be honest, disconnect. Where is it at? Mm, okay, so oh yeah, I know what I wanted to bring up here. So I don't think I have it on here, but I'm just going to bring this up just to make sure that you are aware. There are certain mitigating circumstances and things that can happen that can actually cause you to have an anxiety attack. So let me just lay out a couple of them. I don't have any kind of like bullets or whatever, but things that I know for sure. Sometimes you don't know why you're having anxiety attacks, and sometimes it's going to take some working through some things to understand and figure out what it is that's making you or causing you to have the anxiety attacks. And that might entail you going through some therapy, getting some therapy to figure out maybe there's some underlying emotional or mental issues, some things that you just kind of from the past that some kind of PTSD that you didn't even realize that you had. That can be an issue. Um, to You might just have to do some breathing exercises. And again, as I said, finding maybe the core a friend group or support group that can help you and allow you to talk freely about your about whatever issues or concerns or dreams or hopes that you might have. But there's also some other things that can cause an anxiety attack chemically. And I say this because one, I know that this has happened to me, and I think that's what happened last week when I had my anxiety attack while I was doing my live. Okay. Um, Chemical change, the sugar. So I like to juice, and I juice like my vegetables and fruits and everything, and then I have them in little containers, and I keep them in the freezer, and I thaw them out as usual as normal. Sometimes if your sugar goes out of whack, because what I did was last week was right before I started the live, I sucked down one of my juices. I mean, no refined sugar. It was just fruits and vegetables, but it still had a high content of sugar when I really hadn't eaten that much. So I sucked it down. And sometimes if you eat something that has that just totally shoots your sugar level up, it can throw you out of whack. It can completely throw you out of whack. So I feel like that may have contributed to the anxiety that kicked in last week, and I couldn't get my sugar level under control. So that's a possibility. If you are sucking on or randomly, maybe you haven't eaten anything, or maybe you just have like I don't know, something that you didn't think that would affect you. Sometimes that can throw you and you don't know how to react, and all of a sudden you're just in total anxiety and you don't know what to do. That's a possibility. Also, medications. Changing your medication it can cause different reactions. For me, I know that if I am not diligent, my blood pressure has always been, I've kept it under control, but I know that if I kind of flake off sometimes and I'm not paying attention because I'm just feeling overconfident, like, oh, I'm healthy, it's fine. I'm here in Spain. I walk all the time. I don't need to take my blood pressure medicine the way I used to. Make sure that you are not just getting off of your blood pressure or any kind of medications. Make sure that if you are um, downing the dosage, that it is under medical care, that you're doing this and not just trying to like quit something, because that can actually cause um, a a reaction in your body that can elevate your blood pressure, or cause, again, if you're not taking your, I don't know if you have diabetes and you're taking your medications at infrequent times or whatever, that can alter and it can throw your body into a major, like, a panic attack, because your body's missing something. Okay. I'm talking generally, again, not a doctor. Go get yourself checked out. Okay. So those are things that I feel like it's very important that you know if there's a possible chemical or medication imbalance that can be causing you to have um, something that could be life threatening. Um, and again, anxiety attacks can lead because I had to be rushed to the hospital one time because I was not getting enough oxygen. So that can be detrimental. So it is very important that you get yourself checked out, get on the proper medications, and take care of yourself. Okay. And ask for help when you need it and don't hesitate. I think we stayed around all that. Okay. So with that, I think that the last one, just that I wanted to just bring up was to choose yourself. Choose yourself anyways. We talk about the fear and the concerns and oh my gosh, all this weight has been put upon me and I don't know which way to go and I have all these self-doubts and all these things. And then you're like, well, I guess I need to not plan because I need to not plan for myself because maybe that'll stop the anxiety. If you're in the same situation that's been causing the anxiety, there might be some anxiety as you're getting ready to, go or move abroad or bop around. And there's going to be things that happen. The traveling abroad, I have shared, you guys know, I have shared some crazy pet sitting experiences where I've been locked out the house and had all these crazy things happen. Um, and when I think back on it, I'm surprised that I have not had any anxiety attacks during some of those situations. As I've, gone to different parts of the world, and I'm so thankful for the experiences. I've had some crazy situations happen, but I'm still choosing myself. I'm still choosing to keep moving forward, even as I work through why I'm having these anxiety attacks. I mean, it's not like I'm here now, but whether you are still in the States, wherever you are, if you are having anxiety and you're like, at the airport and the flight's been canceled and you don't have another one for 24 hours and you have to work through, the anxiety doesn't have to take over. But just know that when you are traveling and discovering and doing all these new things, shit's gonna happen and you just have to work through it, period. But the bottom line is you are still choosing yourself. You are still choosing your happiness above all. You still have a lot to figure out. You have to declutter. You have to get a storage maybe. Things don't go according to plan. Maybe there's a relative who gets sick right before you're getting ready to go on whatever journey, and you have to figure out what the care is going to look like. There are so many factors and so many what ifs that could happen. But even during that, make sure that you're figuring out how to manage possible anxiety, have the support, find the support if you feel like you don't have it already, find the support that you need that's going to, be your cheerleader, and maybe give you information on how to move forward. But choosing your joy and comfort, it is courageous. It's amazing. It's courageous of you. And no matter what the anxiety looks like, you you can get through it. Recognize and know that you're not alone, and just give yourself a standing ovation because it's your life. It's not anybody else's, it's your life. So you have to find a way to manage the anxiety, manage the upsets, and take care of yourself and find what brings you joy. Locate your cozy. Okay, locate your cozy. What are you doing to locate your cozy? Okay. Anyways, all right. That's it. I hope that you guys really did enjoy hanging out with me for this time, and it's been amazing. And now I'm just looking forward to next week. alive next week. I can't even talk. And so, but please do make sure that you do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you are going to be coming to Spain and you want to come through Zaragoza, there's many, many resources. One is Black in Zaragoza, but there's lots of other resources. So you can find those. And I have some of those listed in the Facebook group. And if you want some information, get some details below. You can follow me here on YouTube, on Instagram. I am also Locating Cozy. And yeah. All right, y'all take care. Bye. And I do this all the time, and then it's like I'm supposed to have my music, but I don't. Okay, bye-bye. Talk to y'all later. Thank you.